I'm super excited for today's live sew along. If you are tuning in live today, please let me know in the comments that you're here. Let me know if you are just joining in and sewing something else along with me, or if you are actually sewing today's pattern, which is the Babi Boxy Crossbody. That was a part of my Bag Making Bees box club subscription from Wonderground Fabrics and the Bag Making Bee Club. I'm so thankful. I have to say this first and foremost right out of the gate. I can't thank Gabby enough over at Wonderground, as well as Jess at OklaRoots, for giving me permission to share this pattern here on my channel. It is a complete honor. I can't believe I waited this long to do this bag because it is addicting. Hi, Maid. Thank you for joining in. So let me know in the comments if you're going to sew this along with me, if you're going to sew the bag with me, or if you're just tuning in and sewing and listening to our conversation. If you've made the Babi Boxy Crossbody before, let me know how addicted you are, maybe how many you've made. I feel like as soon as I made the test for this one, the first one from the kit, I immediately cut out, I think, 7 more. So it is very addicting. You know, let me know if you're a part of the Bag Making Bee Club, because I definitely feel like any of these subscription boxes or kits that I share, I like to share my honest review of it and kind of my thoughts behind it. So I'm looking forward to sharing all that with you guys as well. Hello, Shari. Thanks for being here for the first time. If I look over, it's because I have my iPad here, so I'm able to see your comments. Hi, Georgie. There's my girl. If you're not following Georgie's channel, make sure you're following Georgie's channel. She's an amazing sewist also and pattern designer. But yeah, we're going to make this today. When I saw that 3 of my favorite people since I became a part of this sewing community, hi Cindy, were a part of a box subscription, I'm pretty sure I'm probably like most people who follow Jess at OklaRoots, who've purchased from Wonderground Fabrics, who have worked with Jade at Heartwood and Hyde. When I saw that there were 3 people that I really like personally already in my short time being in this community, I knew I wanted to at least get to be a part of the first box. I was not disappointed. I just didn't have the time, like many of us when we are part of these subscriptions. I didn't have the time right away to sit down and get to it as much as I wanted to. And I was very happy with the contents of the box. I think quite honestly, the thing that I did, the first thing I did was the lollipop that was a part of the box was the first thing that I enjoyed. So in this box, the first box, we received everything to be able to make the Babi Boxy Crossbody. But I will tell you, and I'll do my review of this subscription box first. That way, if any of you are thinking about getting on the wait list, which I think Gabby right now has a wait list, or maybe a couple things, like a couple spots open maybe right now. I'm not sure. I didn't get a chance to message her today. This box, I couldn't believe once I made it. I know she said, I think I saw Jess and stuff say, you're going to get some extra, you know, fabric. Like there'll be extra supplies in there to be able to. I didn't realize like I was going to be able to make 2 of these bags and then some. Like I still have some of this clear vinyl. I just lost a piece. I still have some of this clear vinyl that I could make more. So, you know, definitely for the cost of the box, I think sometimes when you're purchasing a subscription box, sometimes the cost really does weigh into, can you do it month after month? And I have to say, I haven't made my second one yet either. But the extras that I could make from this, to me, that alone was worth it. I also think that just the collaboration between these 3 very creative people, it makes it very worth it as well. So I highly recommend to do it at least a few months. You know, all of us are busy doing different things, but definitely give it, you know, give it a try. I'm going to answer some of the comments that I see coming out. So Mo says, I am afraid to make the bag since I have never sewed with clear vinyl. I will be following along to hopefully gain some courage to do my first one. So I will say that clear vinyl, and I'm going to share a little bit in a second with you all. Clear vinyl, you want to make sure whatever machine you're using that you're really focused on getting your tension correct before you start sewing the bag. Okay. Now I have not sewn clear plastics. I see some of you saying they have domestic machines. My domestic is a Bernina for, I always have to remember the number, 475 QE. I do have a Teflon foot for it, which I hear from a lot of people. If you're going to sew it on your domestic, to use your Teflon foot. I'll actually be trying that in a couple weeks with another pattern. So definitely make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you have a domestic and we want to learn how to sew clear vinyl on our domestics together. That will be coming up soon because I will be learning it as well. But even on my industrial, I'm going to do that in a second before we sew this bag. I'm going to want to make sure that my tension is correct for the thickness of the clear vinyl. And I've sewn now with several people's clear vinyl, from Wonderground Fabrics to a few other, you can go back in my other sew-alongs. I've sewn with a bunch of other vendors now, the clear vinyls and the jellies. Every single one from every different vendor has been a different weight. So even if you think you know what your tension should be for clear vinyl after you've used one person's, you probably want to make sure your tension is correct before you get started. I just keep next to my machine here, I just have some of the little like salvage area to get it, to make sure that I have it, set up. Yes, and I saw that when I watched the video, and I do have links to Jess's videos in the comments, that Jess does use Scotch tape. I think that's just as a good of a trick as well. I think the biggest fear is when and I know I had this fear also, when you are doing something that you've never done before, it's like, am I going to be any good at this? And I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it. We just got to step over that hurdle of giving it a first try. So definitely, I hope for those of you who haven't tried it yet that you will give it a try. Hello, Tori. Okay. It's like my poor domestic did not like making this. Yes. So also, I see that Diane is talking about the clear templates. So I did purchase from Jess the acrylic template for this. And I would say that's what really made me addicted, was that it was very easy to cut out. Okay. So definitely, if you try this pattern and you fall in love with it, I think Jess says when we're doing the sew along, it's a Monday. I think she said they're going to have another shop drop on Friday. So definitely keep your eye out to try to snag one of these if you feel like, this is a pattern you want to make more of. I did take the 7 that I made. A lot of my videos, I do share a little bit about craft shows. My background is in fashion and marketing, and I've done, I couldn't tell you how many craft shows and vendor shows I've done with my own handcrafted items as well as other people's items. I live in a very small rural community here in central Pennsylvania, and the show that I was at in my hometown this weekend, not many people knew yet. I had to explain to a lot of people, well, clear bags are really, you can use them at venues like amusement parks, concerts, that sort of thing. So I feel like, if you're out west, there probably is more of an understanding, or if you're in a place where you have a lot of, outdoor events for the summer, there you probably will have more interest at those locations than say where I'm located. But I am going to be giving away one of the OklaRoots rivet templates. So this is actually the template for the little tags that connect to the crossbody. And so I'll be giving one of these away with the secret code word. If you are here for the first time ever watching a live sew along with me, in my free Facebook group, which I have the link connected in the details of the video, I do have an event that I shared over in Wonderground as well, that I always post a post that says, put the secret code word here. Okay, that secret code word at the end of the week, I go and randomly choose someone who has commented that secret code word, and I raffle off usually the bag that I'm making. But this week I'm going to be raffling off one of these rivet template pieces, and most likely the bag, because that's just who I am. So definitely stay here, stay tuned, listen for the secret code word, and put it down in the comments of that post in the event of my group. Okay, let me see. My kid has a clear backpack to keep him out of trouble. Tori has middle schoolers, everybody. And if you've ever had a middle schooler, you know. You know. Okay, so that's a little bit about what we're doing today. If you are new and you have never met me before, again, my name is Genevieve. My husband and I, we own a farm here in central Pennsylvania called the Thunderbird Farm, partly because of my indigenous background, as well as we have actually now 2 bald eagles here on our farm, and my husband has been known to have several antique cars, including a Ford Thunderbird, here on our farm as well. I am a community herbalist, so I also blend my own loose leaf teas. We have 2 glamping sites here on our farm. And yes, Maeve, I've been dyeing, not the physical dyeing, the fabric dyeing. We actually just launched our own hand-dyed fabric line over the past week. And so things have been very, very busy here. All right. So that's a little bit about me. I do sew along lives during the summertime because recording and editing while we have campers and all the other things just is not possible. And so I'll probably go back to doing edited videos, tutorials towards the fall. But I do have several that are already up there, and lots of sew alongs that we've done lately. Yes, we do have bald. Actually, I should post a picture of this weekend. My husband and I were coming home, and in the field, both bald eagles were sitting in the field, and it was an amazing thing to see. And if you love the outdoors, I invite you to go check out our website and our 2 glamping sites. We'd love to host anybody. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to take a sip of my tea, because I have the tendency to lose my voice when I talk too much. I am going to be using, the thread that I'm using is from, and I'll start turning my camera here, is from Wizardry Stitchery. I'm not using the thread that came with the kit, because that is a Tex 45, and that would be more for my domestic machine versus my Sailrite Fabricator that I am using, which is my industrial machine. I know that a lot of people in the sewing community have oh gosh, now the name of the machines are gonna totally skip my oh goodness, y'all help me out. What's the name of the industrial machines that are really popular? I know a lot of people have those. When I looked into an industrial machine, I actually was looking for one that would be able to handle tent canvas, and so that's what made me go down the rabbit hole of finding out, oh, Jukies, thank you, Maeve. That's what made me go down the rabbit hole of finding bag making. I primarily come from a background of home decor, children's clothing, and so that's what happened. And I chose the Sailrite, and I could not be happier. One, if anything, like I had issues in the very beginning, which were user error issues, not machine issues. You do have an American-based person to call if you need technical support. So I'm very happy with my Fabricator. I've had it since last July, and it's served me very, very well. If you ever have questions about them, please feel free to shoot me a message. So I'm going to turn it down so you guys can see what I'm doing. There's my little adult Happy Meal boo box. I'm going to set aside my hardware for the most part. The other cute thing I love that came with this kit was the little acrylic tag from Heartwood and Hide. So cute. So there's a little tag that we can hang off the side when we're all finished with it, which I thought was so cute. So I'm just going to set that aside, as well as the cute little cork tag that Jade made. So I'll set that aside as well. I'm going to attach my zipper pull. And again, please, I'm so sorry, my fingers look look horrible, but I'm dyeing fabric out back. Got to take advantage of the nice weather for the next dynamic fabric kit that I'm doing. So there's a little hint of maybe what colors, because that kit, I always like to surprise what colors. All right, so we have those pieces, that, making sure I have everything here. We are going to use these little, what do we call them, Chicago screws when we're done. Okay. Now, I know that this wasn't something, I guess, that Jess or anybody recommended, but I always like to get my centers. I feel like that shows somewhat that I'm a newer bag maker, because I'm not very good at positioning things if I don't have that. So I'm just going to clip my centers on the bottom piece and the top front piece. And this clear vinyl from Gabby is a little bit on the thicker side of what I've used. I do feel like it does make for a pretty nice structured bag compared to like some of the jellies that are out there. But you will need to use, I will need to go and grab my hair dryer to turn this, because it is a little bit more, a little bit harder to do. And I was afraid I was going to rip it when I did it the first time if I wouldn't have used that. Now I'm trying to find where I put that piece that I checked my tension with. I keep it next to my, there it is. Now we're going to check my tension here and just see what we're working with here. Let's see. Hi, Yesenia. Oh goodness, Chicago screws. I'll show you the tool that I have for screws. I got it off of Amazon. It's helped me very many times with some hardware. All right, so I'm going to check my tension. I have it on a top stitch, and that usually helps for me to be able to see. I'm pretty sure I'm too loose. Yeah, oh yeah. We're loosey-goosey down there. So we're going to tighten this baby up a bit. And it usually has to be pretty tight to not have let's see. That's better. So you can see. So the last thing I made was a Tuesday tote. So you can see how loose. Let me point my lighting back down here a little bit better. So you can kind of see how loose that first couple stitches were. I just wanted to really tighten things up. Not so much that I'm seeing the bobbin thread coming through the top here, but enough that on the back everything looks really flush. So we should be good to go now. My thread is the bright purple from Wizardry Stitchery in a Tex 80. I do find, so the two threads I use on my Sailrite are Sunny Sewing Machines, which is a Tex 70, and the Tex 80 that's from Wizardry Stitchery. And I find the Sailrite doesn't give me any issues usually. Let's knock on something. It usually doesn't give me any issues with the Wizardry Stitchery. Occasionally I'll have something not kind of working with the Sunny Sewing Machine, the 70. The Sailrite, you know, is meant for real heavy duty stuff. So it likes to beefy. It likes to work for you. So the Tex 80 usually is really, really good. I'm using, I think, I actually have no idea where I got this. And this double-sided tape. And it's just not. I just switched to it. I should have looked where I got it, so I know that it's not one I want to buy again. It just does not want to stick. So I'm going to put this on the bottom. And I always try to keep my zipper going to the left. But we're just going to set the clear vinyl right on top of that. And I love that Gabby, and I know Jess always encourages this. Yes, you might hear my husky pup Apollo. I love that she encourages to always cut your zipper a little longer. I know some people think it's wasteful, but you just never know when you're going to have something not work in your favor. Okay, so I'm just going to back stitch at the beginning and the end and stitch this right onto here. And I'm just doing 1/8 of an inch, like I'm just stitching this on because we're going to put a piece of vinyl over the top to hide where that tape was. No one's going to see it. I'm reading Diane's comment. So Diane, my daughter, for those of you who are new or haven't followed me for a while, my daughter Isabella is a pursuing future astronaut. Truly, she is in school. She's in college now for biology, but she's actually one of the youngest citizen scientist astronauts in the country. If it wouldn't have been for COVID, she would have been certified by now in the citizen scientist astronauts commercial. So she would have been certified and everything to be a commercial astronaut. So yes, NASA is a big deal in this house. All right, so I'm putting some double-sided tape on the top of my zipper, and I'm just going to try to line it up as best as I can with my bottom and position the top. Okay. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to back stitch at the beginning and the end. Just a nice little 1/8 of an inch here, right across the top. The best double-sided tape that I've found, quite honestly, has been Sailrite's. I feel like my Sailrite likes it the most, as well as it's stickier, and it just works really well. So I feel like once I get through, I think I bought a bunch from all different places trying to find the one I liked, and Sailrite by far has been my favorite. Okay, so now in the kit, so this is where, again, the bang for your buck of this kit. Gabby did have double pieces of these things. So this was a strip of vinyl that they have you cut it in half. So 1/2's going to go here, 1/2's going to go here, and we're going to top stitch that around. I am going to put some double-sided tape on there because I'm not afraid to say that I need that to keep things in place. I've been sewing for over 20 years, but bag making, like I said, is very new to me. Like almost a year old now. And when I found Jess, her channel on YouTube, my dog is, he does not like that car that goes by our house. When I found her YouTube channel, the first thing I said to myself was like, oh, there's other young people who sew. And I know that sounds horrible, but being that I live in central Pennsylvania, a majority of the sewers in my area are quilters, Amish, Mennonite. Not a lot of young people sew. And so when I found this community, I have to tell you guys, just overjoyed with the fact that there were young people out there, or young at heart, I'll say that too, young at heart, who were sewing. So I'm just sewing this, top stitching. I'm going to keep my needle down there and move my zipper out of the way so I can top stitch this vinyl, part of it onto the zipper, and then the other part is going to be onto the clear vinyl. This part was hard for me to try to keep my stitches straight, and ooh, that's where I was a little too tight. I should have looked at my tension. So we have a little bit of loopers there, not too bad, but a little bit. That is the one thing with this bag. I did have my last one. I kind of did the same thing where I didn't realize, like, I didn't change my tension for the vinyl to the zipper was different than the vinyl to the vinyl, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna clip our threads here. I don't have any local sewing friends. It makes me sad. Mo, you're not alone. And I feel like that was one of the things, like, quite honestly, like when I was at Sew Magical and I was teaching at Sew Magical, and I'm looking forward to teaching again at Sew Magical, Florida. I'll be teaching another Shibori dye class as well as a sewing class with clear vinyl. So if anybody's going, I hope you'll take one of my classes. But yeah, I definitely agree. I wish that I had a local sewing community, right? But I do feel like this community in general, there's way more opportunities to connect with others who sew than I've ever experienced. My aunt is a very avid quilter, and so, you know, I've gone to quilting expos with her, and I've always felt, nothing against them, but I always kind of felt like I was treated kind of like the youngster, right? And I feel like the environment of, you know, both with Jess and Gabby and others that I've gotten to know online, and then again others I've met at Sew Magical then, like Lauren, Mormino, and Katie from my little shindig. Like, there's so many people that I feel like, you know, you are my people, and we might live across the country from each other, but when we are able to get together, it'll be like no time has lapsed, just like my best friend here, who, by the way, I did teach my best friend how to sew just because she was willing. So, but my best friend has been going to school to be an elementary school teacher, so there's very little time for her and I to craft together anymore. But I did teach her to sew, and we did have a little business together for a little while. I made children's dress up clothes, and she made hair bows and other things. And so yeah, I did have a bestie who sewed for a little while. All right, so here's my front. Okay, so I top stitched just 1/8 of an inch. I feel like, boy, that bright purple thread worked perfectly with that purple zipper. I love it. Very, very nice. Okay, now we do have our back, but we need to get our bag tag put on here. So I think, I don't know, I have to go grab my bag tag because Jade has made my tags for me as well, which I'm so happy with. I know that Jade the Heartwood to Hide always has a long wait list, but it's worth the wait, people. I promise you. So this is, I'm getting a little bit of the light shadow here. So this is my bag tag. And so our, part of our logo is these wings. And every place that I've gone to ask them to make anything for us, whether it be embroidered shirts, anything, every place has struggled with our wings. And Jade, she just went above and beyond to make sure that our wings would show on my tags. So again, I really want to encourage you, even if you're just getting a small set, wait for them. Jade's awesome and really deserves every piece of business she gets. So I'm going to put my double-sided tape that doesn't stick onto the back of my tags here. Okay. And I think I'm going to put my tag up top here, just like a 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to measure down where I'm going to put that. The beautiful. I have a bestie. Her name is Michelle. She lives in California. I think, she's moving to Florida now. But she is a makeup artist to the stars. Truly, she's a celebrity makeup artist. And I'm lucky enough to have her to be my friend. And she has her own line of, like, a face regimen. And that's what her like little tagline is beautiful. Be you beautiful. Makes me think of her. All right, so I'm just gonna center that there. I think this tape will stick enough for me to do those. And then I'm just gonna, I love this little OklaRoots ruler. I would say this is my most used tool, is my set of OklaRoots rulers that I have from Jess. It's like one of the first things I ever bought from her. I want to get another set because I took a class at SME, Texas for English paper piecing. And I want to get another set to keep with my English paper piecing. Okay. We're going to center that there. All right. How's everybody doing? So this bag, oh goodness, I think it's 10 by 6 by 4, Diana, so here's the thing with clear bags. You know, a lot of people are marketing them that you could, you know, take to concerts and things like that. A lot of venues have different sizes they allow. When I looked up, at least within my local area, like Philly, Reading, Harrisburg, Hershey, it was anywhere between like that 10 by 5, you know, size, to 12 by 6. So I do feel like this one, even though it's not the 12 by 6 that some venues allow, it still meets all of the venues pretty much in my area as far as sizing. But I would definitely recommend that you look at what sizes are available if you're focused on selling them to kind of promote for those venues. All right, I'm going to top stitch this. And I'm still not perfect at putting my tags on, you guys. I don't know if any of you are, like, you have it down pat, but I start in the middle because I found that's the best way for me to hopefully get it somewhat square. And I always go, I know I'm going slow, y'all. So that's one of the things I will say with the Sailrite, if you're looking at industrials. I do feel like, because I have sewn with a Juki now, I do feel like I have more range of speed than what the Juki has. And I think that probably is because a Sailrite, oop, I need to do a little bit. I always get nervous. What was I gonna say? I forget now. Anyways, I feel like I have more range as far as slowing it down. I don't know if it goes as fast as a Juki because I'm not a fast sewer. When I see people like Lauren, like speeding through, I'm just in awe, because I am not a fast sewer. But I do really like that. It comes in handy, especially when you're top stitching or when you're going through thicker vinyls. It definitely is helpful to be able to slow things down. And I have this god-awful large lighter because my other lighter, the fluid ran out. My stitches usually are uneven. Mine are as well, many, many times. You're not alone. Do not fret. I think that's one of the cool things about this community. I think compared to some other sewing that I've done, I always felt like everything had to be super perfect. I mean, obviously, you want it to look nice, of course, but I feel like in this community in general, everybody is just very much in awe of each other's work and supportive, and I love that because that's what creativity is supposed to be about. A little bit about my creative background is I'm pretty sure creativity is in my DNA, even though I tell everyone that you're not born with creativity. It's something you learn and grow in. But my dad is a stained glass artist, and he does fused glass as well. My mom, she was a ceramic artist for years and pottery. So I feel like I just saw people being creative, and so it was just natural as well to be creative. Like I wasn't afraid of it because I saw people being creative around me. I think that's part of it for some people is if you've not been around, creativity is filled with mistakes, you know. Diana says, I have a Juki and mine does have different speeds and I slow down by using the pedal, which makes me nervous. Yeah. I feel like it's definitely having a machine that truly is able to slow down is super helpful for bags. And I think that's why anybody who, like Jess in general, making bags on her domestic all the time, y'all, that takes skill. Like, not saying that this doesn't take skill because the two things I think, and I've said this in multiple videos, I think the difference between a bag, not a bag, a machine that is a domestic machine is the domestic machine, you're telling it, you know, you're talking to it, you know, like you program it to do whatever stitch you're going to do, like you're telling it what to do. An industrial machine tells you what to do. I think that's the biggest difference. All right, so now we're going to connect. No, we're not. I'm skipping something here. Where is that little piece of vinyl? Oh, Lordy. We have a little piece of black vinyl somewhere. I set it over here. So this piece here is pre-cut for you in the kit, but it's literally just a little tag that we're going to stick. We're going to top stitch it, just stitch it right there. So I am going to use a clip to hold it. Diana said, I used a Janome for years, just started with a Juki. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think having... I'm nervous, and I might just be saying that because I am nervous about using a domestic for bag making, because my domestic for years was my Singer 1970s, early 1970s. And now my domestic has all these bells and whistles on it. Okay. So we have our little tab sewn on there now. Okay, so here's where we are. It's looking good, looking good. And now we're gonna take our back piece that we have cut out, and we're just gonna match those centers at the top and at the bottom. Now I know on Jess's video, she says you can either do like a 3/4 inch seam allowance or do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. The first one I did do the 3/4 inch, and it, you know, it does make it smaller. But I feel like after that, I was like, oh, well, I want them to be a little bit bigger. I want them to be that full 10 by 6. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Yeah, it's not only my hands that are dyed right now, my feet are dyed as well. So today, when it was very warm here today, which was a great day to dye. The puns that happen when you're a fabric dyer. I'm also going to change my stitch length for the seams to a 3 instead of my top stitch, which is a 4. I don't want it to be too small, because you could perforate this clear vinyl. So you don't want your stitch length to be too small, but I want it to be a little bit smaller than my top stitch. So yeah, so I was ice dyeing today, and because it's so warm, I needed to use more ice than what I have been using. I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and the end here, you guys. And my bins were filling with the muck dye, which is the dye that comes out after it's gone through the fabric. And I needed to empty them, and the one emptied right on my leg. So my left foot is, it's a different color. So it'll go away in a few days. It's all right. I just can't, tomorrow night, I'm on a school board locally, so tomorrow night I just can't wear any open-toed shoes, or people will wonder what is going on underneath the table. Is your Sailrite the deluxe Fabricator? It is. It is. I cannot say enough about it. I love it. It was well worth it. And again, super helpful support. And if you go watch my Sailrite, is the Sailrite Fabricator for you video, you'll hear about what I did to it the first 2 weeks I had it, which I hear is quite a common thing with people who've never sewn on an industrial machine for something like that to happen. And we literally had to do a pretty major repair within those first 2 weeks. And they were so helpful, which, you know, don't get me wrong, I know for people who have Juki dealers near them, their Juki dealers help them and everything. I do not have a Juki dealer near me, so this really was the option. Yes, Adam at Country Cow uses a Sailrite Fabricator. Yep. You know, that's kind of some of my background as well. The fashion company that I worked for 7 years, They primarily work with leather. And so it was also one of those things where I was like, if I ever did want to work with leather, I wanted something that would be able to handle that. Which, I'm not there yet, you guys. I might like eventually, because I do the fabric dyeing, I would love to dye some sheepskin, do some shibori on sheepskin. Oh, Apollo's here. You want to say hi to everybody? Buddy? He was at the vet today. There he is. There's my buddy. There's my buddy. He had to get 2 more shots today. What's up? What's up? I know he's like, Mama, anytime I'm in my sewing room after like 5:30, 6 o'clock, he's like, it's not time to be here anymore, Mom. It's time to go downstairs. Okay, so I'm sewing up the sides here. I might need to take this young man down to go outside if he keeps pesting. You okay? If he starts stomping at me, if you know anything about huskies, the stomp is the cue that you're not paying attention. You need to do what I'm telling you to do. All right, so I just cut those edges off the sides for myself. I'm now going to box these bottom corners. Oh, he's talking to me. No stomp yet, but he is a beautiful boy, and he knows it. Diane, he knows it. He knows he's a beautiful boy. My husband says we need a donation box for the side of our car because he is always getting complimented. Okay, so where we're pinching these together, you want to put your seams opposite directions. It's just going to make things so much easier for you. When you're turning it, it's going to look nicer. All right, so we're going to clip there. And I always clip, when I'm boxing, I always clip the sides to just hold things down, because eventually I'm going to take that off and I don't want things to shift. Okay. And this is, I know some people like to try to do it like this. The easiest way is going to be kind of pushing it from the top like this. All right, so I'm going to do my 1/4 inch seam allowance, back stitching at the beginning and the end. He's beautiful and such a baby. We went to the vet today, and literally we didn't even have to go in a room. Like, she just brought it was like his 2nd shots for Lyme, and another one just because we live on a farm and he's outside a lot because wild animal stuff that he doesn't get sick. And the nurse came out, the vet tech came out, and she had the shots, and it was like I had a toddler that wanted to run away from shots. He literally jumped on the chair that I was sitting on, but behind me, and hid. Like, Mom, don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. It was so cute and funny, but he literally is. He is a child. Something else. I thought I was done raising kids, but now I have Apollo. Okay. Oop, sorry if I bumped you guys with my arm there. All right, so we have our bottom boxed. Now that we have our bottom box, we're going to find our strap connector pieces, which I have no nails right now, so we're going to have to clip these. And the hardware in this is so cute. Like, Gabby really went above and beyond there. I think so cute. And we're going to grab our 2 plastic pieces that are going to be our connectors. So I'm going to pull this through. Now, something that I didn't see done anywhere, but I didn't do it on my other ones, but I feel like this will be helpful, is I'm going to top stitch just one little top stitch back and forth across this, just to kind of keep this the way I want it. Who knows if this is smart or not, but I feel like it was really difficult to try to position these without them being like connected to the hardware. So there's one. And oh, this is the thing with clear vinyl, y'all. You lose you lose your pieces. Okay. I know some clear vinyl is almost not clear. I like that it's just a star. I know Gabby has a fair amount of like very basic print clear vinyl, and also my friend Katie over at My Little Shindig has some that are like just polka dots or stripes or things like that. If you're really looking to appease to the market of clear vinyl bags for venues, I would say try to stick to that instead of some of the really fancy printed ones, because it's a possibility that those bags could probably be turned away. All right, I probably should melt these down. Don't burn yourself with your crazy lighter. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to box that top, okay? And I'm going to look to see what direction did my seam go on the side. So that's the direction I'm going to make it go at the top. And what I do here is I get it to where I want it, and then I put my side clips where I want them. And then I take my hardware, and sometimes it's hard because the clear vinyl wants to be sticky, but I just get it to where I want it. And you want about a 1/2 inch overhang here. Okay, I might want a little bit more because I want maybe do 1 inch. I think I'm going to do 1 inch so I can really make sure I'm getting those Chicago screws in place. I'm just going to put one clip there, move everything else out of the way. Make sure I have a long enough thread here. And now we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance again. Burn those threads down. And now we're going to do the same for the other side. We're going to make sure our seams are turned the direction that they're supposed to be. And then we're going to clip. You want to make sure you have some good clips for this. If you have just like the cheap Amazon ones, I broke a few making these. If your clear vinyl is thicker. So I'm going to do about 1 inch. And now we're going to do our 1/4 inch seam allowance. One. Sometimes those seams want to kind of hang up on you. So since we're getting towards the end of this, I'll share my secret code word. So what I love that Jess and Gabby, the whole bag making bees thing, the theme behind the bees, that they love bees, makes my heart happy. Like I said, I am a community herbalist, so really thinking about how are we using the environment in a very healthy way. Our farm here, we really try to do things that are, you know, friendly to the environment with our campsites. And with my herbal teas, you know, it's one of the things. As actually this weekend I did a plant walk with our campers. You know, a lot of wild foraged plants, they're going away because we just don't. One, wild foraging was overpopulated and we have so many invasive species. So the secret code word, since the tea that I am drinking tonight is one of my own, actually it's mostly ice now, is the orange honeycomb ginger tea. So honeycomb is the secret code word. So make sure if you stayed here for the so long or you are watching it on the replay, you head over to my free Facebook group and put the secret code word in the comments of the post that is on the event for this so long, and you'll be entered to win the little template from OklaRoots as well as this bag. All right, I'm going to open my webbing here. And I didn't check to see. I don't think they did. Maybe they did. No. There's enough webbing in the kit for one bag. So I have the webbing for that. I think it's probably around 60 inches long. That's what most crossbody handles are. I'm going to open my hardware here. I made this wrong. You guys, I made this like I do my H2O to go bags so that the strap can be positioned and used and the bag can be clipped on something else. With actually, these Babi box bodies might be good to be able to be clipped on something else as well. So I did put the strap connectors on the actual bag, which again, that's a signature thing that I do, that I wasn't paying attention. So if you want to make this bag the way it's supposed to be made, put your strap connectors on your strap and put your D-rings on your bag. But we're gonna make the strap. That's so funny. It's something that I do, and I don't think a lot of people do that. So I'm sorry if I made you mess up your bag. So I'm going to fold this over about an inch, and then I'm going to fold it again so that my strap adjuster, it looks like so. And I'm going to put a little clip here, and I'm just going to top stitch this back and forth. Their bee theme is great. I really like that they have available the bee t-shirt. Yes, I didn't get the bee t-shirt. It is super cute. All right, we're gonna top stitch this straight across, back stitch a little bit at the beginning and the end so that it's secure. You could do a box stitch here too if you wanted to, or like an X stitch. Oh, I hear my bobbin. Can we do it? Do I have any more of that thread on a bobbin? I don't. Let's hope. Okay, so now I'm going to take my D-ring because I used my strap connectors, but if you're doing your strap connector, you would put your strap connector next on there. Make sure that you're not crooked, and then come up the one side and then go down the other, just like you would a belt. Okay, and now we're going to take our other D-ring, and we're going to make sure that we're doing it. We're going to lay it flat so that we know we're doing it straight. Yep, Am I? Nope. I'm twisted. Good thing I checked. Okay. Now are we flat? Did I do it again? I did it again. I think, there. Okay. Let's see. Straighten this baby out. There we go. Okay. Now we can come up and go down. There we are. Good to go. All right. Now I'm going to take my D-ring. I'm going to put that through. You would be using your strap connector, not a D-ring. I'm going to fold it over about an inch and then like so. I'm going to clip it and I'm just going to top stitch that across. You can see how quick this bag is and how it could be addicting. Like you could pump these out. Well, like I said, I cut out 7 and I think I did most of them in one night. You could totally make a bunch of these if you wanted to. Come on. Light her up. Okay. So there's the strap. Now I'm going to post the finished picture because I'm going to go over in my bathroom and use my blow dryer. I'm just going to put the blow dryer right inside here. I'm going to point it down for a little bit, point it up for a little bit, and then this is going to get nice and soft and pliable so that I can turn it right side out. And then I guess I can't do these on the live, but I'll show you the tool that I use for this. And then when I'm all finished, when the video is done loading, I will post the link for this tool that I have, the screwdriver tool that I use, in the comments. Thank you, Diane. All right, so here is my little screwdriver tool that I have. It turns, so like when you're doing this, it turns really, really nice. And it has inside all of your different size heads and they're magnetic. So it's very helpful. Before I had this, I lost a lot of screws, not just these screws. So that's what I'll be using to put those on. And like I said, I will post the picture of the finished bag in the event so everybody can see it, and make sure you're going onto the post in the event to put the secret code word, okay? So that you can be entered for the bag as well as this little guide. That basically what the guide is used for. One, it is the pattern piece for your tabs, but it also, I'll pull it out here. It also has the holes for you to measure it up to know where do you need to put the hole for your rivet or for the Chicago screws. So that will be available for you. Yes, when I went and bought my template, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy one of these and give these away because it's super helpful, probably not only for this bag, but for multiple others as well. So yeah, and I think is it a measuring, is it 3 inches? Let me see. It doesn't have all of the, it is, you guys. So it is a 3-inch ruler. So that could help you with positioning like your tags and things like that too. So, just a little thing to note. All right, so that's that. That's a quick sew along tonight, y'all, compared to some of my other ones. If you followed, you know. So I am gonna head out. I have to go make sure that the hand-dyed fabric is underneath the tent. So just in case there's a storm, it doesn't get washed out before it's ready. That is the one thing with hand-dyed fabric. Lots of hours are involved in it. If you didn't get to see my hand-dyed fabric launch this weekend, I did launch a small batch of hand-dyed fabrics that isn't my fabric kit. Like, they're on their own, and there's still a couple different types available. I'm shocked that the cotton wovens haven't sold out yet, because they're gorgeous. So definitely go check that out. That's over on our website, www.thunderbirdhandcrafted.com. If someone wants to pop that in there for me, I'd appreciate it. And I have all my handmade stuff there too, as well as my teas. If you are a tea drinker, or you're an iced tea drinker, one of the reasons I started blending teas was my own personal wellness and my own personal self-care, but it was to get me to stop drinking sugary drinks and enjoy water. But I usually can't do something that doesn't have a flavor to it. So I have a lot of my hand blended teas as well over on the website. I just restocked because I had a craft fair this weekend. So definitely check it out. And join me over my Facebook group and share with me your Babi Boxy bags. Again, thank you to Jess and to Gabby. I can't thank them enough. You know, I think one of the things I've learned in my years in marketing, especially in fashion, is so many times there's almost a celebrity starstruckness that happens with certain designers. And I know that it has happened here in this community as well for some of our YouTubers that we all follow. They are people, just like you and I. But they also should be applauded for their courage and the things that they do as well. So when I emailed Jess to ask her, could I do one of her patterns on my channel that's not as big of a following as hers, not nearly as big of a following as some others, and she said yes, to me that shows the type of person that she is. And again, that's why I say they are people. I highly recommend following Gabby, following Jade over at Heartwood and Hyde, and if you aren't following Jess yet, please follow Jess. I see some questions. Easy for you to say. I'm telling you, you can do this. You can do this. Are you planning on going the OklaRoots cruise? I would love to go on the OklaRoots cruise, and I'm hovering back and forth. My biggest hurdle with the OklaRoots cruise is my son is graduating high school. Okay. And that will be a very specific time next year. So potentially I could need that break. So I've thought about it as like, take this break before all of the emotion of my son graduating. But we would like to take him on a cruise, an international cruise. So financially it might not be the thing, but it's not ruled out yet. So I am in the group. Need to go. It's always something. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, everybody, for joining me live here tonight. I appreciate you being here. I'm going to go take Mr. Apollo out, take care of that hand-dyed fabric, and I'm going to go grab my son over at his grandmother's. He's mowing grass, and we're going to go for an ice cream sundae. So I hope you had a wonderful time. Make sure you head over to my group. Feel free to join. I accept everybody who joins as long as you answer the questions. And make sure you put the secret code word honeycomb over in the post in the event for today's Sew Along Live. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And remember, crafting is the healing part. Remember when you're crafting that it is the thing you do for you, okay? It's the thing that you do to recognize taking care of yourself. So slow down a little bit. Sip a little, right? Have your favorite drink. Breathe a little. Crafting is the healing part. So have a beautiful day, and I hope to see you next week on the next Sew Along Live. Talk to you real soon.